Hey, what's going on, guys? TalkNorwichCity here, back for a predicted 11 video. I know you guys have been wanting these a lot the last couple of weeks. I think the top comment on the last match preview video was bring back the predicted 11. So, you guys got what you wanted. This is the predicted 11, proudly sponsored by OneFootball. If you haven't been watching the preview videos throughout the month of September, then you won't know what OneFootball is. You might do, because it's quite a well-known app, but they've kindly sponsored the preview videos this month. It's a really cool footballing app. I really like it because everything is in one place. As you can see here, I'm following Norwich City, which means I get all of the latest news, all of the latest stats. I can predict who's going to win. So I'm going to predict Norwich City. 59% of the 172 people that have predicted this game have gone with a Norwich City win. Only 27% have gone with Reading. Let's have a quick look at the table. And Reading actually is struggling this season. They're down in 18th place on 9 points. They've won just 2 games this season. They've conceded 10 goals and only scored 8. They are the second lowest scorers in the league, and we are the third lowest scorers in the league. So by rights, this should really be a 0-0, but it's probably not going to go that way. So let's get straight into the team then. And the way I thought about it this week was because, you know, I don't want to make too many changes, but I also think after a midweek game, there's naturally going to be some changes down to knocks, down to physical kind of condition, and I haven't seen the Daniel Farke press conference at time of recording. So if there's players in that I put in here that are injured, forgive me, but I'm just doing what I think is best. So of course, Angus Gunn goes in goal. He is one of the first people on the team sheet at the moment, head and shoulders above any other goalkeeper at this football club. And he has been an absolute legend so far. 5 clean sheets in a row for him. That breaks all Norwich City records in terms of clean sheets, which is unbelievable considering how long he's been here. And the turnaround, not really from him, but from the team, to go from an absolute laughing stock at the back to record breakers is quite something. The defence, once again, is a line of players that you can't really change, to be honest, and that is so satisfying saying that as a Norwich City fan. So Stiepermann at left back, if fit. I know, didn't he come on late on in the game against Middlesbrough, so hopefully he'll be good to go. Zimmerman goes in there. He has really come to fruition the last couple of weeks. He's made such a big step up from where he was playing last season, so it's great to see him really kind of dicing it with the big boys. Next to him, Tim Close, who I'm kind of putting this whole kind of change down to. He's a man who we signed in the Premier League and was superb. I fell in love with him back then. Last season, he was in and out of the team through injury and form. And when he was in the team, he was average at best. It looked like he couldn't really deal with the physical presence that the Championship kind of posed. And this season, he said before the start of the season that this is his chance to shine. He believes in Daniel Farke. There was a lot of links in the summer moving him away. Basel wanted him. He could have been playing probably European football, but he chose to stick with Norwich City. He said he's got something to prove, and boy, has he proven it. And then at right back, Ivo Pinto, who I think has really matured in the last couple of weeks since being given that captain's armband. In terms of defensive duties, I think he's looked a lot better. I've always loved Ivo Pinto. I think he's a really decent defender. Yes, he's not the best at defending, but I think he does a job in this league. And the presence he gives going forward as well is, there's not many right backs in this league that can do that. And I think Ivo Pinto, as well as that, brings a real kind of presence to the pitch. In terms of his character and his real kind of fight, and I think that is absolutely second to none, and you need players like that in the team. I'd say the first man on the team sheet at the moment is this guy, Tom Tribal, who I did not expect to be saying, and I absolutely love it when I'm completely proven wrong. When we signed Tom Tribal, I thought, you know, that's cute, nice little bench warmer. Give him a year's contract, give him a roof over his head, and see you later, Tom. But wow, he has been exceptional so far, and probably him along with Close has been the reason why we look defensively solid at the moment. And he's just everywhere. I was watching him against Bristol City. I know we didn't get the result we wanted in that game, but he was everywhere. He was winning tackles. He's got a real engine on him. And he is the N'Golo Kante of Norwich City at the moment. And having a player like that in there, I can't remember the last time we had a player as good as him in defensive midfield. So that's great. Now, the player next to him, I'm not so sure about, because I think Tribal and Tetty works best. But Is Tete going to be able to deal with 2 games in a week? However, he does now have 2 weeks off after this. So I'm going to go with Harrison Reed because I feel like he's been overlooked a little bit at the moment. And nothing he's done wrong. I think the games he's played in, he's been absolutely exceptional. I think the first 4 games, he was probably one of our players of the season so far. And Tete came back in and done a stellar job. So Reed can't do anything more. But I think Reed brings a lot of value to this team still, and if Tete's struggling a little bit, he's put in a real shift in the last couple of weeks and months, then I think Reed deserves the chance. But if Tete gets in there, I'm certainly not going to be moaning. Now, the attacking positions is probably where there's been the most change and is subject to change the most at the moment. Now, I'm going to go with my man Yanic on the right-hand side because I think he should be playing. I genuinely do. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't. He brings a real physicality about that attacking line. I think he's very direct. We saw what he can do against Sheffield United. He runs at players, and when you've got a player that just keeps on running at defenders, eventually he will get through them. His pace, his physicality. Is he a player that can put in a full 90 minutes? I'm not so sure. But I think he's a real presence to have on that pitch. And for me, he's one of the first players on the team sheet at the moment. Now, in the middle, there's no other man you can go for at the moment. James Maddison. What an absolutely unbelievable goal on Tuesday night to win us that game. And he is, Chris always said in the podcast that he really rated Maddison. And I agreed, but I didn't know if that step up was going to be too big. I didn't know if he's going to be able to cope with the physical demands of this league. But for a youngster, he has such maturity about him. The way he controls the ball and doesn't really give it away, but finds that killer pass and has that little spark of quality is the closest thing we've seen to a Wesley Hoolahan for a very long time. And that's very promising. And unfortunately, I'm going to say it, but I think James Maddison is the type of player we've just got to enjoy while we've got him, because I think a Premier League move awaits for him if we don't go up ourselves. So James Maddison goes in there. Of course, having the ability to bring Wes off the bench is something quite special as well. So Wes can always go in there. I might surprise you, but on the left, I am actually going to go with Josh Murphy. I think the comments from Daniel Farker in the week were interesting in terms of keeping youngsters players' feet on the ground. That was in direct relation to a question Paddy Davitt asked about Josh Murphy and his exclusion from the team on Tuesday night. And I think Murphy knows that he's got real talent. He's obviously been had his eyes moved a little bit with his brother, having a big money move to Newcastle. I know he was up there visiting him last week. So, look, he's a youngster on big money playing for a decent-sized football club. His brother's just gone to Newcastle, one of the biggest football clubs in England. Of course, at times, you're going to get a bit cocky. I think that's only natural. Fair play for Daniel Farker for hopefully bringing him back down to the ground. And look, Josh Murphy's a clever lad. He's not stupid. He will have probably gone, actually, yeah, I've messed up a little bit here. Nothing serious, move on, put Murphy back in there. He's got something to prove coming off the back of a few poor games for him. And then up top, I'm praying that this man is good to go from the start. It's Nelson Oliveira. To be fair, I thought Jerome done an absolutely heroic job on Tuesday night. I thought he was excellent, and that's the Cameron Jerome that, we fell in love with. And his work ethic, yes, he didn't score, and yes, we do need him to score. He's a striker at the end of the day. But look, Jerome done very well. I just think Nelson possesses that quality. There's a reason why he's one of the top scorers in this league. His goal return at Norwich is unbelievable. I think in terms of games started and goals scored, he's at about a 1-to-1 ratio, which for any striker is unbelievable. So Oliveira goes in there for me. And as well as that, you've got that added dimension that he was linked with Reading for so much of the transfer window, wasn't he? So it's just football for him to pop up and score a winner or something. So that's the team I'm going with. It's very satisfying for me to say, yeah, look, the defence and the midfield pretty much pick themselves, and then it's up to us to experiment with that front line. And at the end of the day, Yanic could drop out, Murphy could drop out, Maddison could drop out, and Nelson could drop out, and you've still got a very strong team with the substitute. So that is very promising. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below of the team you would go with. OneFootball as well, links to them will be in the description. Go and download the app, and also they've got a really cool YouTube channel. So if you want to go and watch some videos on that, then please do. Links in the description. Reading away on Saturday. It's going to be a good one. See you later. Have a good day.